out on a new lake and going to try using my electronics to locate a school of crappie. So what I'm going to do is, this is standing timber, so what I'm going to do is uh, you know, move around the standing timber, look for brush piles, look for fish, and then when I locate something, then I'm just going to swing the kayak around and fish it. Drop a jig on them and see what happens. We'll see.
This one looks like it might have some on it. Something piled up down there. Really, really tight. They're all the way at the bottom. See anything? See the brush pile. See little things right above it. Caught a little tiny, teeny, incy, bitty one.
Catch one?
Yeah, I mean, it is tiny. I want to say 10 feet. This is 1 foot of water, but I want to say he was probably 10 feet deep.
In this one spot, I think I tried 3, maybe 4 different types of presentation of that jig, and every one that I caught there, it was on a different presentation. So, it's going to be a hard day of fishing when there is no pattern. Usually on a good day of fishing, there's a pattern, and you stick with it for the most part, and you catch a lot of fish. So it's going to be, it's going to be a tough day, and you use one presentation, you catch a fish, and then you use another one, you catch a fish, and it never works twice, and so it's going to be a tough day.
Monster.
had to go prime my live well. Normally I prime that thing when I'm out heading out to where I'm going to fish, but I completely forgot. So I have to leave the spot to go prime it. But I'm going to fish this spot pretty hard, and I'm going to give it several different presentations. So these fish were sitting here, and they were really tight. They looked like part of the structure. They were so tight in this spot, but they really didn't bite very good. I mean, I really had to work to catch a fish in this spot, but I managed to catch a few. But they were. It was like that mouth was so shit. This is about 20, 21, 22 feet of water, and the fish that I have caught at this point, they struck the jig at different depth. One struck it like when I was cranking it up from about 10 feet from the surface, and then the bigger one, I went to the bottom, touched the bottom, and came off the bottom just a little bit, like maybe 3 or 4 inches, and just set the jig still, and he hit. And then the other fish, I worked the jig as I came up just a little bit, and I work it, and then I tried coming up and then stopping, doing a pause, and I also tried just cranking it, dropping it, hitting the bottom, speed cranking it up to get a reaction strike. But like I said, I caught some, but I really believe there were a lot more fish there than what I caught. I mean, it seemed like there was 30, 40 fish there on the graph, and I could only get maybe 4 or 5 of them to actually hit. One thing I learned about crappie fishing before the electronics, were as good as they are today, is that crappie tend in standing timber like this, crappie I noticed in the past that they really like the larger trees. So when I was fishing from a boat and didn't have electronics, what I would do is I would look in the standing timber, and I would pick out the largest tree and I would fish around that tree. Or I would try to find a group of small limbs or small trees that were all grouped together, and I would fish them. But so if you go out and you're trying to trying to pick a spot, the electronics not working so well, or you have some kind of other issue going on, you can go off that theory that fish large limbs. To help me understand what crappie looked like on my electronics, what I did was I just took my phone out and just kept taking photos of what was on the screen. That way I didn't have to remember it, and my electronics don't do screenshots. So I just took photos of it, and I went back, the next day, and looked at them, and I just kept collecting them and looking at them, and you know, I remember when I caught fish and I caught crappie and what the screen looked like, and I just put the two together to help me understand what exactly what the crappie is going to look like on electronics. Another thing is that anytime you find crappie in, say, between 10 and 5 foot of water, these are going to be crappie that are ready to eat. I mean, they're hunting down food. If they're that shallow, they're going to be looking for food. I mean, they're going to be really aggressive. So you always want to try to fish those and see if you can find a decent fish in that group. A lot of times they're small, but sometimes you can find really decent fish in that group. Life is good when you're getting bent, so go out there and get bent.